in one transitioning to baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we are live. David, thanks for joining us. We're interviewing me and Jordan. We are interviewing rapper and former Giants running back David E. Wilson. David, how you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Yep, great to have you here as well as Jordan. So, first question I like to ask is, who was your favorite NFL player growing up, and what was your favorite team or any outside or inside inspirations?
Yeah, as far as football, I had a lot of favorite athletes that I like to keep up with. Bo Jackson was one that really stood out to me because how versatile he was. So I really looked up to him, as well as a lot of running backs. And then like Michael Vick being from Virginia and having the impact as he did on the NFL, I really loved keeping up with him as well.
Yeah, as far as Bo Jackson goes with the versatility, obviously you're a very versatile guy. I know made a couple runs at the Olympics. Also, your music career obviously just taken off. So I see the similarities there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was a dual sport athlete. So I just want to start it off where it all began. Before you made the jump to music, coming out of college, you were a first-round pick for the Giants. I just wanted to ask, how did it feel to be drafted by such a famed organization, especially the year after they won the Super Bowl?
Man, it was like a dream come true. Being drafted in the first round, that's something that I really set a goal down and actually wrote down in my lifetime that I wanted to accomplish. So working hard and all my hard work paying off and get to that point where I hear them call my name on draft night, with the anticipation of just imagine having this goal that you want to be in the first round and being the last pick of the first round. So it was that close, to not happening. But at the same time, the world champion New York Giants drafted me and trusted me to carry the load. So that could speak volumes as far as the hard work and the trust that these Super Bowl coaches, they know how to win and they know what it takes to win, so they can identify good athletes. So them taking me with their first round pick, that was an honor.
Right.
Pretty cool.
And obviously you were drafted by Coach Tom Coughlin. I know Alex was curious to know about how it was with him.
Oh, man, he was an old school gridiron, straight up guy. And he taught me a lot about football and about life and just his philosophies and being able to share that with him every day. Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
Just like Coughlin and the coaches, who were the players in that locker room that were really leaders to that team even after the Super Bowl?
I remember Justin Tuck taking lead on the team and Eli Manning leading by example, and Antrell Roll, being a vocal leader and taking charge in the locker room, playing with these guys and just having that energy, it was a blast. It was just all great memories created.
So obviously after your NFL career was pretty short due to some heartbreaking injuries. So how heartbroken were you and how angry were you in the immediate aftermath of the spinal stenosis and the injuries that, so to speak, ended your career ultimately?
That was definitely devastating to get that news. And from my perspective, I was only just getting started. I broke a lot of records my rookie season. I became the starting running back of the New York Giants my sophomore season. And then to just endure an injury 6 games into my sophomore season as a starting running back for the New York Giants. And then having that hope to come back and undergoing surgery, hoping that you could come back and doctors promising that you would be stronger than you left. And that not happening or being the case, that was definitely frustrating. But at the same time, I had to realize and pick up and get up and keep rolling and never give up and just roll with the punches of life and find out what's next for David Wilson. So I realized that I was David E. Wilson, and I got in touch with my art side, and I started teaching myself different skill sets of life. And amongst those, I taught myself to produce beats and compose music and write lyrics and record. So that's what led me to today, in 2020, releasing my album, Far From Normal. And I just advise everybody to go check that out by searching David E. Wilson on their searching platform for music.
For sure. I actually listened to it, and I didn't know that you actually made all the beats. Some of those were really cool, actually. A lot of layering and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm in my studio right now, and everything you hear on that album is from me or any of my albums. I got a Christmas album. I got another album called Ran. Those are also searchable and findable, along with other projects that I release. But yeah, all the beats you hear, I make right here in this studio. And I just want to give everybody that raw vibe of me so they can hear it. So first, when I started making beats, I was like getting it from YouTube, just working with what I had. But basically, after a while, I became more inclined, and I realized that wasn't the sound that I was going for, and I wanted to do more of me versus this person's that and that person's this. Combination of things. I just wanted to flow from the heart and be heartfelt for me. So what better way than to teach yourself how to write lyrics and make beats? That's what I do.
Right.
Now, sort of, I was going to ask a different question, but I'm actually now curious. Before the COVID pandemic, did you have a place to go in your house to record, or did you have a studio somewhere else that you could actually formulate all the stuff you do now?
Yeah, so in 2015, I first recorded a song, and I was going to a studio. And like I said, I went through the process of like learning and teaching myself and, becoming more inclined as far as music. And basically in 2017, that's when I started. I built this studio in my own house in Atlanta. And I started teaching myself how to make beats and hooking up all these instruments and all these speakers and compressors and mics. And basically after I did all that, it was like probably about a year or 6 months or so where I actually learned how to like get sound to come out the computer and the speakers based on all the programs that I was using. And then after that, shortly after that, I just started recording, and I haven't stopped since. So we're still running.
Now, transitioning a little bit back before joining us the next question, transitioning back to, the days of the rehabbing before the retirement, who led you through your rehab? And even though you go back on the field again, who led you through it? What teammates, what people in your life, what people in your family led you and tried to keep you in a positive motivation going forward?
Yeah, so everybody around me. So anybody around me that's not, actually advocating to the benefits of my life, or if I'm not advocating to the benefits of their life, then what are you around for? So basically everybody around me that I keep around me, my mom, my dad, my family, immediate family, at the time, even friends from back home and teammates, you keep a small circle, but at the same time, you got a lot of support. So a lot of my fans was also a part of that process, tweeting me and DMing me and cheering on me to be back on the field and killing it. They wanted to see it just as bad as I did. So I fed off of that. And the New York Giants was behind me 100%, trying to get me healthy. Like I said, they put me under the surgery, paid for everything for that to happen, and sent me through the rehab and the process that they felt was best. But unfortunately, it didn't work out, and I was forced to retire.
So obviously going back to the album, obviously out now, Far From Normal. So I kind of had a dual question, kind of goes hand in hand. So first of all was obviously it was very different, but in a good way different from what I heard. So my first question is, who are your musical influences and who kind of influenced you in that direction to make sounds like that on that album? And then my second question was actually, how long in the making from start to finish did it take you to record?
Yeah, so basically when I listen to music, I appreciate people that present their music in an art form and people that can also incorporate positivity more so than negativity in their music lyrics. Because I stand for inspiration and motivation and positivity, love. It's the main thing. And when I listen to music, I look for those things. So some of my favorite songs have all those tools in it. I look at Kanye West. as being different and presenting his music as an art form. So that inspired me. From when I was in like a freshman in high school, I was like, he was one of my favorite artists. And then also going along, being from Virginia, Pharrell Williams, who makes a lot of positive music, and you know, not necessarily expected, but at the same time something different and positive. Along with many other artists that inspire me along the way, but those are the two that stand out right away. And like Kid Cudi is another one. And but basically with this album, I worked on it from 2000. Some of these songs on this album are from 2018. So I wasn't necessarily working on an album then. Working on this album from 2018. Just going through my song catalog, this album came about. I created an album artwork for a song that I made about 2 months ago, I would say, and I created album artwork. And once I created album artwork, I was like, man, this is so futuristic and so like, you know, at the same time vintage. And this song doesn't necessarily do this album art justice. So that's when I knew I needed to make an album to match this album artwork that I created. So these songs, I went back in my songs, in my catalog, and I made a few other songs. I probably had to record like 8 more songs that I really wanted to be on the album. And then I went through my catalog and just went through any other songs that I felt like I wanted to release at the moment that matched that picture. And because the picture wasn't normal. You got the burning bush and got me floating over the trees on fire, and you know, royalty with the hat. So I just felt like I needed to do that, and then release the songs that I felt like matched that album. So basically, this album comes from like songs from 2018 on in to 2020, and basically I made these songs, and I wanted it to be raw, and I wanted it to be you know, an experience more so than just jamming out back to back. It's more of an experience, and it's very versatile. And I wanted to have poems. This album has no genre, so I have poems on the album. I have, you know, emotional songs. I have, you know, party songs, turn songs, club music. You name it, it's on there. So basically, I wanted to put something on this album. I feel like everything, I covered all bases for somebody to find something they like on this album, Far From Normal. And also I named it Far From Normal because it's rare that I hear people use their own music and their own beats that they created from start to finish on an album project. And also, you know, writing the lyrics. A lot of these artists, mainstream artists, have writers or they have composers that do the beats for them, and then somebody else makes the album artwork, and then somebody else is like doing this and doing that, and it's a lot of working parts. But for me, it's just me right here in this room and just giving the world that raw vibe.
Now, going back to your prior albums, maybe even, you know, your recent album, did you dedicate any lyrics or maybe even a song to what happened in your football career? Not even talking about, you know, the bad parts of the injury, but, you know, the good parts of being part of a team and, you know, doing all the other stuff in the locker room and just having fun. Did you dedicate like any part of that to maybe a song or a couple of lyrics?
Yeah, so I put the number 4 before each song, and that stands for like when I wore number 4 at Virginia Tech, when I was ACC Player of the Year. But basically with that, that 4, it stands for, I want the listener to be boxed in. So it's 4 sides to a box. Well, not necessarily a box, but a square. And I wanted them to be boxed in with me. So I put the 4, and that's what that represents. It kind of like plays off the sport of me wearing number 4 and number 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then also everything that influenced me throughout my life is, you know, I incorporate in my expression. And I talk a lot about not giving up and not stopping and believing in yourself and believing that you can achieve what you set before yourself to achieve. Staying strong and knowing what you want. So I got a lot of lyrics that play off of that and play into that. You know, being disappointed, even when you hit disappointment or feel like it's rock bottom, you still have hope. You can feel hurt. You can feel hope. And I say a lot of that kind of stuff on my album. And like I said, staying positive is the main thing. The same way I handled my injury and not being able to play football ever again. You know, I kept going with my life and just, took the optimistic approach.
So this next one is also kind of another double question, goes hand in hand. So my first question is going to be, how is your relationship, if there is any relationship at all still today, with the New York Giants, and how are they, if there is a relationship, which I assume there is, they're a very stand-up organization, but yeah. If there is a relationship, how are they supporting your music career and the further steps you're taking after your football career? And my second question is, any of your past teammates who shows the most love, who do you feel has really followed you on the musical journey of past teammates?
Yeah, so basically you got to bleed blue. Once a Giant, always a Giant. So I know if I've reached out, they'll be more than willing to help in the ways that they could. But I haven't really collabed with the New York Giants as far as my music. But basically, as far as my teammates, it's a lot of my teammates to still keep in touch with me and wish me well and support me on social media and stuff when they can. And but I would say Ruben Randall, one of my closest friends.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we got drafted to the New York Giants together. He was in my wedding. And, we even had kids. Our kids play together when we in the same city and stuff. So, yeah, he always rocking with me.
That's excellent to hear. I remember Ruben back in the day with Eli. I actually didn't know you guys were from the same draft class.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Ruben was drafted in the second round, I'm pretty sure. And then David was a first round, and then on and on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Does the audience have any questions? Let's see if they do, real quick. I'm not trying to kill time, but see if they have any questions, real quick. Give them about a minute or so.
Yeah. Just a heads up,
David. We're gonna have an article coming out later in the week promoting the article as well. So we'll send you over that link if you want to check that out.
Yeah, I definitely want to read it, and I'll tweet it and post it on my story, and however I can support that as well. So I appreciate y'all supporting me on my music journey. I want to give y'all special thanks.
Definitely. Definitely.
For sure. I want to let y'all know while we're waiting on my computer, I left my charger somewhere, but my computer is on 16%. So we probably got like 10 more minutes or so. But if it cut off for any reason, that was what happened.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. You happen to watch the Giants game at all today?
I missed it. Me and my dad was working on a project, so I got it recorded. So I'm going to check it out right after this.
Yeah, some big stuff happened after the game, actually.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah.
I
don't want to spoil it.
Is this something you want to talk about?
I mean, I don't want to spoil it because you have it recorded, but the recorded version would probably not show it. Golden Tate and Jalen Ramsey got into a scrum after the game.
Oh man, like after like handshaking and everything.
Yeah, after that and everything.
Oh,
from what I saw on social media, it got pretty ugly.
Yeah, it'll probably be on my timeline then. I gotta check that out. Everybody gotta stay cool. They gotta keep it cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get, Tate's frustration, and everybody's been talking about this, since a year ago, if anyone doesn't know the story. But I think on the field, you do have to keep your cool. And there was one of the receptions, actually. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but where, like, Ramsey definitely took Tate and laid him out on a reception. I don't remember which exact play, but, Ramsey just laid him out after. And then there was a couple chirps, but the big stuff came back at the end of the game.
Man. I hope they get it together and we can get on a winning streak. I know that much.
0-4.
Sorry, Jordan, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Jordan.
Your lips moving, but I can't hear you.
You're still muted, I think. or whatever. I still can't hear you.
Oh yeah, it says you muted. As unmuted your microphone.
Let's see. Muted. Unmuted. Maybe it's because he doesn't have his AirPods in, maybe? Possibly. They can't hear you. Maybe you gotta put your AirPods back in, unless they're dead. Text in the chat, maybe. Oh wait, now he's putting them back on. Yeah, his AirPods are dead. Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
Well, at least we got the most of the questions through and a little bit of discussion at the end. David, like, thank you for coming on, man.
For sure, man. Appreciate the support.
Yeah. Keep motivating and keep going with the rapping career, man. You're gonna get somewhere, trust me.
Yeah.
Especially with the background you have.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.